welcome to our second last career speaker guest. This is Mr. Joe Saccone. He is a real estate agent with Keller & Williams Realty. He's going to tell us all about his job and how to get it and the pros and cons of being a real estate agent. I do want to mention we have one more career speaker this year. That's going to happen on April 9th. We have a wedding planner coming in. She actually also works in the district. Wedding planning is her other job. So if you're interested in that, be sure to sign up just the way you did for this with the QR code. We'll hang those posters later on in the week. All right? If you can join me in welcoming Mr. Saccone. He is an East Senior grad, so hopefully one day one of you will be standing up here talking all about your wonderful job and all the reasons to become whatever you become. All right?
Absolutely.
So let's welcome him.
Thank you. So I appreciate that, and I definitely want to meet the wedding planner because knowing wedding planners are awesome for real estate agents because that's one of the reasons why people buy and sell homes. Getting married is a huge reason. So I'm going to share that along the way. As was mentioned, yes, I did graduate from East a long time ago, so far back that when Miss Syracuse brought me in, my class is not even represented in the photos downstairs. So I graduated in 1983. Spent a lot of time in this library. And a question that I have for everyone to kind of get started is, first of all, what ages? How many people here are seniors? 2. How about juniors?
Students in grades 10.
And how many? The rest are sophomores. Okay, cool. So I appreciate everybody being here. I know it's difficult in high school to kind of know what you want to do. So when I was sort of sitting in these seats and walking these halls, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was a senior. I remember being scared to go talk to the guidance counselor when time came to, determine, did I want to go to college? Did I want to go to trade school? What did I want to do? So if you're feeling any of that anxiety, and if you're not a junior or senior, maybe it's a little too early, but it's never too early to explore different opportunities. My parents didn't go to college, so for me, I was kind of pushed towards that, even though I didn't really know what to do. I ended up choosing a major that I really enjoyed, but I picked it because one of my good friends here at East told me what she was doing, and it sounded kind of cool, so I went to school for that. Had a successful career in there, but it was short. One of the things you'll find about real estate is that most people in real estate, it's not generally their very first career. Oftentimes people get into real estate for specific reasons. Sometimes they're like a stay-at-home mom or dad and they need some extra income. Other times it's they just retire from the work that they're in or they get tired of it. I've got a number of people that I know that are super successful. It's interesting, some of the most successful people in real estate, believe it or not, are former teachers and social workers. And part of the reason for that is a huge part of this job is listening to people and problem solving and helping people through stages of their life. So I want to start off with a quick question here, and that is, in your mind, why would somebody buy or sell a home? Just raise your hand or shout out, why would somebody come to a person like me and say, I need to sell my home or I need to buy a home?
They're growing a family and they need more space in the house.
Okay, so there are 5, that's great. So there are 5 Ds. The 5 Ds are generally the reasons why people do that. What's your first name?
Mark.
Mark. Okay, so Mark, because you spoke up, I'm going to give you one of these, $10 Starbucks. It says you're amazing, so thanks for answering. And so one of the things that I think is super important, not just in my business, but being successful in general, no matter what you do, is participation, okay? So in my company is real big on personal development and education, not just selling real estate. So we have a saying that when you're in a classroom setting like this, learning, which we do a lot, how you participate in here is how you participate out there, okay? And that really hit hard for me. So a lot of times, I was the person that would sort of, I'd go to something, and in the beginning, I'd sit in the back and maybe wouldn't, answer questions in that. So, Mark, kudos to you and anyone else. Just understand that whenever you get in a situation where you can participate, do it, because life really has a way of rewarding you. It's kind of what you see on the TV shows, and part of that is true. I mean, you can make a ton of money, even though I think around the country the average real estate agent makes $38,000 a year, which is not a lot. I personally know people in Western New York and outside that make over $1 million a year. So the income limit is unlimited, but there's a ton of work and things that have to be done behind the scenes, as there are, and I'm sure, every career. Has anyone ever seen that iceberg analogy, the picture of the iceberg, and what you see above the surface versus below? Has anyone seen that? A few heads are shaking yes. So what you see above the surface is what the average person sees, the hugging, the kissing, the checks and smiles and all that. What you don't see below the surface is what it takes to actually get there, which is a lot of boring work over and over and over from day to day. The toughest part about selling real estate and being a real estate agent is acquiring the clients. And that you'll do through a number of ways. Networking, there's a lot of different ways to advertise, market, and network. The key, though, is to become, although our license in New York says you're a real estate salesperson, you want to become a trusted advisor. Okay? Because with real estate, if you're selling a home or helping people buy a home, and I actually helped Miss Syracuse buy her place, she was referred to me by a friend of hers who I had helped several years prior. The key, though, is gaining people's trust and being able to help them make a very difficult financial decision. Okay? Real estate is likely the most expensive thing anyone will buy in their lifetime. Okay, if you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a home, like maybe your parents did, the person that's guiding you through the process, you want to be able to trust them that you're getting the right advice on everything from pricing and negotiation to marketing the home, and if you're buying, making sure that you're not buying on emotion. Okay? Does anyone know the two ways that people typically buy, whether it's a house or a pair of shoes, or choose to buy something on Amazon? Any thoughts on what it takes, like what your brain processes in order to purchase something? A couple of ways. How cheap it is? Okay. Okay, yep, good answer. Did you ever, what's your first name? Ellie, okay. I've got a few cards, but I got to kind of spread things out, so we're going to kind of do it like that. Anyone else? Price? I'm going to go a different direction. It's typically emotional and logical, okay? Usually when you make the choice to purchase something, there's some emotion tied to it, right? You see an amazing, if you're scrolling through Instagram, which I'm so guilty of buying stuff on Instagram, but it's the emotion of what you see there. The person wearing the shirt or skiing down the mountain or whatever, there's the emotion side that you want to buy. That happens in real estate all the time. People fall in love with the kitchen, the stainless steel appliances, the quartz countertops, the in-ground pool, the park that they could walk their dog down the street. Okay, that's emotional. And there's the logical side that kicks in. And this happens with almost everyone. And that's part of where my job comes in. It's like if we sit down, say you and I sit down and you're going to be a buyer, right? We have our buyer consultation, and I get what's called a needs analysis. So I talk to you about what it is you need, how you're going to, where you want to live, why that neighborhood's important to you, what you want in a house, how many bedrooms, baths, that kind of thing. But I want to know how you're going to live in the house. Because you might just be thinking, I want this big, beautiful kitchen with a big island like my parents have, but that may not be how you're living your life, right? You may not be entertaining if it's your first home. You may have a dog, so you want a fully fenced yard. You may fall in love with something that emotionally, you're like, oh, this is so, I just love these kitchen cabinets, or I just love, the finished basement. My job is to come back to your needs analysis and say, okay, makes sense, and it's way at the top of your budget, okay, and your parents live 15 miles away, and when we first met, you said that it was kind of important to be close to your parents because they're going to watch the dog when you go away, and this, that, and the other thing. So you want to be able to sit down and listen to people and help them, because they're always going to want to buy an emotion. And then we come back and we say, great, let's talk about the logical side of things and see if this makes sense. Okay? Anyone have any questions so far? Okay. I have a quick question. This is unrelated to real estate, but more like West Side and East. I was thinking about this morning. Do the cops still show up at all the East-West hockey games? Because when I was a kid, like, they do. So it's still that crazy.
Football, basketball.
Football, oh, really?
They're scheduled. They're not
Yeah.
called because of an issue. They're scheduled.
Okay, because when I went to school here, they were called like all the time. To leisure rinks it was when East-West played. All right, cool. I had to figure that out. So we talked about reasons why. I want to touch on that again. Why people might buy. Any other reasons why somebody might purchase a home? There are 5. We call them 5 Ds in real estate. What could you think about? Give me some more reasons why someone might buy or sell.
Having like a job.
Okay, for a job. Yep. Excellent. What's your name?
Yeah.
Gianna.
It's like you're really old and your house is too big. You gotta buy small.
Okay, so that D is called, we call it like diplomas. That technically means the last kid is out of college and it's mom and dad or whoever the parents are right in the home and they need to downsize. So that's one. Anyone else? Divorce. That's at the top of the list. Well, in my order, it's death, divorce, diapers, diploma, and diamonds. I'll go through them real quick. Death, of course, we know, right? Somebody passes away and the family needs to sell the home. That's typically what happens. By the time the home is ready to be sold, there's what's called an estate that's been established. And the emotion of the person's passing is usually several months in the background. These are a lot of fun for me. Believe it or not, I enjoy working with estates because the family's already agreed, gone through the process, and now this is just a transaction that they want to take care of. And they're looking for someone to give them guidance. Oftentimes, they're left with a home. I have this right now with a couple. One is it's the kids. One's in San Diego, the other's in Charlotte, and the house is in South Buffalo. They don't want to come back to Buffalo. They need somebody that can get the dumpster guy to clean it out, a cleaning person. Sometimes they need to have a painter. So those are kind of fun to work with. That would be that. So you mentioned divorce. These can be good and bad. Some divorces are horrible. And for the real estate agent kind of wandering through that, we have to play both sides. In almost every situation I've been in, you pick a side in your brain because one person is generally more difficult than the other. I actually had one when my first year in real estate in West Seneca, not far from here, where the husband almost punched the wife at the kitchen table when I was sitting there. He was clearly the one that I just did not like, but I couldn't play favorites. So when you return phone calls, if you're talking to both of them, I will call you, and then the next day I will call you, and back and forth, and stay with the attorney. Divorces can be great, though, because if you're able to sort of work both sides and keep both parties happy, they just want to split the asset and move on, okay? Then you get divorced, and oftentimes you're going to buy another house. So that could be a second sale for me, all right? I had one where there was a divorce. It was a beautiful divorce, as beautiful as they could be. They called me to their house. I love this couple. They were friends since high school. They called me to their house, and the wife called. She said, we want to sell. Can you come talk to us? I'm sitting at the table, and she goes, we're getting divorced. And I was like, oh my God, you're like two of my favorite people. And they're like, no, we're happy. It's cool. This is a good thing. And that ended up 5 transactions. She sold the house. I helped her buy another house. That's 2. She got a new boyfriend. They bought another house together. That's 3. I sold the boyfriend's house. That's 4. She sold the house that she bought after she got divorced. That's 5. And we're still great friends today. Okay? So that's divorce. Diapers is another one. We call it just because you're having kids, right? You buy your first home. Maybe you're living in a 1-bedroom condo. You get married or you're with somebody and you can live there, but you have a child. So diapers is another one. People have children or you have more kids, you need a bigger house. Diploma we talked about, that means, hey, if you two are sisters and there's only two of you and your parents live in a nice-sized house and both of you are away at college, a lot of times mom and dad look at each other and go, well, what are we doing? I don't want to cut this big lawn. We don't need all this square footage. I got to clean the house all the time. Like, it doesn't work. So they'll downsize, and that's diploma. And the other one is diamonds. That's when you're getting engaged and getting married. And again, that's a huge driver of people buying real estate. Questions so far? What sounds like the most fun part, the most fun kind of client to deal with of those five? Death, divorce, diapers, diploma, and diamonds.
Diamonds.
Who said what? Diamonds? Why?
I feel like they'd be more excited.
Totally true. It's a happy time, right? They're excited. The future's bright. They're going to buy a house. They're going to have kids. They're going to travel. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. Everything is looking good. So absolutely. What else? Diapers? What did you say? No, say it. So tell me why. Diapers. So that's you're having kids. A happy time. Yep. Happy time. And of course the death and divorce, right? Like not essentially happy times for people, right?
I think downsize. There's no timeline. You have every option on the table.
So that's an interesting point. So if you're downsizing, which would be the diploma run, right? It is, but a lot of times what happens, and this happened with my own parents. So I grew up off of Seneca Creek, and my parents built the house in the 70s. My dad was so ready to move. My mother, it took her 5-6 years. So the downsizers, the challenge with them is one is almost always more motivated. When they come to me and they're both on the same page, it's amazing, but it's rare. Okay? I thought I'd go through a couple of the pros and cons if you're considering a career in real estate. Most people get into real estate because they see flexible hours, they see unlimited income. Okay, those are really the reasons why people get in. And while that is technically true, I'm going to share some of the real pros and cons. So the flexibility to set your own schedule, yes, but you also will work odd hours. That can work against you. I will tell you that no matter what you do in life, I've learned, if you don't have the discipline to do certain things daily, whether it's work out, run, eat right, make phone calls, follow up with people, call your grandma, whatever. If you don't have the daily discipline to do that, it's hard to have any measure of success long term. The challenge so many people have when they get in the real estate business is that nobody's knocking on their door. You don't show up at the office. Nobody comes looking for you. You're an independent contractor, which means you do what you want to do. And so that's very empowering, but it also can be very challenging because nobody's looking over your shoulder and watching out for you. You got to watch out for yourself. There is unlimited income potential. I mean, if you've watched any of these shows on TV, my dad, before he passed away, he's like, what the heck are you doing in Buffalo? Move to Miami, move to San Francisco, like sell the more expensive houses. You can earn unlimited income. The way you have to do that, though, is help a lot of people achieve whatever those 5 Ds are. Whatever D is in your life, I have to help you achieve that. And then the more people I help, the more money you can make. Every day is different, except for the time allotted for doing the daily disciplines, which is calling people, following up, marketing, those types of things. Now, a little bit of a reality check. There are some negatives. There's no guaranteed paycheck. It's 100% commission. So if you're the kind of person that really thrives in a structured environment where you want that paycheck every week or every 2 weeks, real estate might not be the best career for you, okay? You do have the upside, again, is unlimited income, but if you don't sell a property, you don't get paid. And you don't get paid for about 75 days. If I sell a house when I leave here today, I'm not getting paid for about 2.5 months. So that can be one of the cons. Your schedule is irregular. People now with, everyone on their cell phones, text messages. I get text messages. I wake up, people text me at 1 o'clock in the morning, a Zillow link, to show them a house. Self-discipline is key because you don't have a boss telling you what to do. Okay? Questions thus far about any pros and cons? Anyone want to take a guess what a normal day might look like selling real estate?
Maybe just calling people.
Say that again?
Just like calling people, just like getting them settled.
Yep. So that's really important. Communication's key, and I will, again, this is just sort of something I'll share with you, real estate related or not. Communication is key in every aspect of life. So no matter what, in fact, I'm doing a book club at my office now with one of the women, and the book is called Exactly What to Say, and the author is Phil M. Jones. It's an amazing book that will help you communicate better, and that's incredibly important in real estate. What else? So a lot of communication, a lot of phone calls. That's a big thing. The more people you talk to, the more opportunity you have to earn their business. Okay? Anything else? What other skills do you think would be needed? Showing off the house best you can. Absolutely. So when you're showing a house, you're going to want to make sure that you know all the details about the house and the neighborhood so that you can communicate that properly to the client. What about social media? What are your thoughts on that? Do any of you follow any people in real estate or any kind of sales?
Yeah.
Is it Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you follow?
My friend's dad, he does real estate.
Your friend's dad?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Matthew Fowler.
Matt Fowler?
Yeah.
Is your friend's dad?
Yeah.
Matt with the big biceps?
I went
Yeah.
to his bodybuilding show.
What's that?
I went to his bodybuilding show.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I'm going to text Matt and after this. I just saw him a couple weeks ago. I'm going to see him at a dinner in a few weeks. That's cool. So what do you like about Matt's social media?
He posts more. He has a good smile on there. He has his face all over. Sometimes he posts stuff other than real estate, like his bodybuilding stuff, that shows you how to like who he is, like what he's like. And he's really charismatic too.
Yep.
When he posts videos.
Yep, absolutely. Anyone else have anyone you follow maybe in somewhere else on, say, Instagram or TikTok and that you really like the way that they build their brand? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to text Matt. I make fun of him sometimes because I'm like, those biceps are not looking so big now these days. So we're going to wrap up because we're getting close to time here, and I appreciate your attention. Takeaways from this today, real estate, is there anyone here who could see themselves maybe in this as a full-time career, part-time career? What is it that attracts you to it? Tell me your name. Alina? What is it? Aaliyah, okay. What is it that attracts you to it? Meeting new people. It's fun, it is challenging. I can tell you that meeting new people, whether it's in real estate or not, is one of the keys to success because the more you surround yourself with people who think differently or have different life experiences, the better, the more you're going to grow. So that's a great reason. Anyone else? Reason why a career in real estate or actually any kind of sales, why it would be appealing?
I like to have my own schedule.
Your own schedule. You can make your own schedule, but you'll be more successful if you build a schedule that works for you and follow it every single day, okay? Not just, today I'm going to work, and tomorrow I'm going to be at the beach, and the next day I'm going to work, and the next day I'm going to hang out at Starbucks all day. So it's important. There's a daily discipline there. Another thing I'll share with you that's not real estate related, because I think this is super important. I learned this. I go to a lot of real estate conferences and sit in a lot of rooms. Never be the smartest person in the room. Okay? Somebody told me this a long time ago. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So I don't care if it's business, career, sports, whatever. I think it's critically important to find people who are doing what you might want to do or achieve and follow them. So like if you wanted to get into real estate, right, you might want to follow a guy like Matt. Do what other people have done, but expand your circle. I think that's incredibly important. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're definitely in the wrong room. Okay? Go ahead.
You just have a few minutes. Can you just talk briefly about how do you become?
Super easy. The great thing about real estate, as we said in the beginning, is anybody can do it. It's inexpensive. There's probably not another career in the world where the difference between what it costs and what you have to do to get in and what you can achieve are as great. It's about $500 to get your license all in. It might be $1,500 to get started and work with a broker and that kind of thing. And I can tell you, I know people in their early 20s who are making six figures. My niece is a physician assistant. She spent a lot of money at St. John Fisher, and she makes great money. She makes 120 grand or so a year, 125,000, and she's only in her 20s. There are people in my office who didn't go to school, or did go to school and then got into real estate, that are making more than that. So it's not always about the money. But if anyone wants to talk more about that, I'm happy to share. There's a school. Most people take it online. Probably the best real estate school in the country is here in Williamsville in Western New York. Tom Cusack. Tom's kind of the guru. He's hilarious. He's probably 90 years old now, but he will make you laugh like crazy if you're fortunate enough to take it in person. Okay?
I think we're going to leave it there. Mr. Saccone will be here for a few minutes if you want to come up, if you had a question that you're a little shy to ask. Could we thank him for spending his time?
Thank you. I just share one thing and tell them. This is the #1 best-selling real estate book. It's called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. The subtitle is the most important part, and the author is actually Gary Keller that owns my company. So he says, it's not about the money, it's about being the best you can be. So this book is basically a blueprint for people that want to be successful. I have a colleague in Maine that read this at 17 years old. When he was 22 years old, he made his first $1 million. He followed a very specific system and worked really hard. So if anyone's interested in, in a copy of this book, let me know. Okay?